Hi, this is Tracy from GiftBasketappeal, and today we're going to be making a wreath. So let's get started. I'm using a 14-inch wire form, and I got some decorative mesh from Walmart. This was about $5.47, I believe. No more than $6. And this is 21 inches by 8 yards. So it is a little bit intimidating, but I'm going to try this out. So y'all stick with me. I also got some ribbon, and I got a patterned ribbon along with a solid color. And this one is actually, this is a burlap. That's a burlap, but I love those colors together. And so I forgot to tell you that this is a blue mint Deco mesh. Blue mint. So I think that's really pretty with the mix of blue and green. So you may have seen me show this in a previous haul video. And so I went and got the blue at the suggestion of my husband. I picked out the solid colors, and he said you might want to mix it up with a pattern. So he loves to do colors and stuff. I may have to make him do a video at one point where my husband crafts. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Okay, so I also have some chenille stems, and I'm trying a different technique. So I might make a mistake and have to readjust, and that's okay. And I got all these chenille stems. I don't think I need all of these, but I still have them. So let's go ahead and put our ribbon aside for now. And we're going to go ahead and start this process. Okay, so I'm going to start out with this super wide Deco mesh. And I'm going to gather it. I looked at several techniques. I had been wanting to try this technique with this Deco. So I had gone on Pinterest, and I had looked at several YouTube videos. So I feel a little bit more confident now to do this. So bear with me. You're going to gather up your end here. And with Deco mesh, it sticks to itself, and it unravels somewhat also, but don't worry about that. So I'm going to start like this, and I guess I should have already cut my chenille stem. I'm just going to cut this in half. And I'm just going to start with this corner right here. Right over here. And I'm going to start this off. I'm going to just kind of twist this around because I want to attach it right over in this corner right here. So I kind of want that to be in the back. So this is how I'm going to start it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull this through. Trying to find the best way to do this. I'm going to take this and gather it up. I want this to stay close by, so I'm going to just tie it right around here because I don't want it to shift. So I'm going to push, I'm going to gather this up, and I'm going to push it through here. Just like that. And then I'm going to, so you're starting at the back, and then once I have this the way I want it, I'm going to push it through. I'm starting at the first one, now I'm going to push it through the center. So I've got a little loop right here. I'm going to push it right through the center here. I want to make sure I've got that like that. And so I want this to be fluffy. Okay, so I'm pushing it like that. Then I'm going to take this, and it's still underneath. I'm going to gather up a little bit more. And I am going to push that part up through here. So now if I want it to be fluffier, I need my loops to be bigger. So that's just a hint to give you that if you want it to be fluffy. So you're pushing it through the second one, and pushing it through the outer loop. So it's hanging on there by itself. So that's what the first one looks like. Okay, so bear with me. We're going to do it again. And this stuff really sticks to itself. So just have to kind of pull it out a little bit. Give yourself enough workspace. My workspace is not as big as I'd like it to be. But I'm going to go ahead and press on. Okay, so now you're going to go back to the first. You're going back to the first one again, right in here. And I'm going to push that part up through there. Okay, I'm just kind of matching it up, but you can make your loops as large or small as you want to. And I'm going to gather this up, and I'm going to push that through there. And I could always go back and kind of pull it out and do whatever I need to do with it. Okay, so look how that looks. Then I'm going to take this again. I'm really loving this color. And I'm just holding this with one hand over in this area here. And I'm going to take this. So I'm up to the second one. I'm doing the first one, pushing it through. The second one, pushing it through from behind. And then the third one, pushing it through. So I'm up to the third one, the outer loop. And I'm just going to push this up. And I'm pulling it through just like this. And I want them all to line up sort of the same. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Now I could decide, I'm just working with this point here to this point right here. I could decide whether I want to do another one right through here. So the more this is condensed, if I put another loop in here, another 3 loops through this part right here, let me see if I can show you. It's going to be even more condensed. I want it to be pretty tight because I like my wreaths to look full. I'm going to go back. I'm at the third one. I'm going to go back again. And I'm just trying to keep this part kind of straight. And I'm going to hold on to this because I want it to stay there. I'm going to push this right up in here again. And because I want it to be so tight, it's becoming a little bit more difficult to pull through there, but that's okay. You're going to hear me saying that a lot. That's okay, because it really is. I was so determined to show you all this wreath technique. And this is not anything like a new technique, but it's something I wanted to try. Okay, I've got my first loop. I'm going to go ahead and pull it through here again. I'm just gathering up all of this, pulling it right through. And I want to make sure this stays straight here. Yep. Okay. Just want to see if my wire frame is showing. Okay. It looks really good. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to take my other part here, take another bunch. So you're just basically gathering up in your hand and pushing through. I'm going to take this and I'm going to push it right through here. And I want that whole piece to go through there. Oh, and it's getting caught on my wire, but that's okay. Okay. And so it's a little bit uncomfortable doing it at first, but just like everything else, once you get the hang of it, you're actually going to feel much more comfortable doing this. Okay, so that's like the first part of our section. So I'm going to go ahead and do one more section here. And I am going to go back to my first loop again. Just pushing it up in here. Okay. Working that second part there. Trying to let you see what this looks like. Okay, I'm just holding it. And I'm taking this and pushing it through the second part. You all can do this. I know you can. If I can do this on camera, I know you can do this too. Okay, so that's what we got so far. And I'm just kind of separating my loops here to make them look just a little bit fuller. And I'm holding this in place because I want to, it's easier for me to hold it in place so that I'm pulling from this direction, pulling the mesh through from here and not from the loop that I already formed. And you know what? Just looking at this already now, this is going to be beautiful. Just like this, without even adding the ribbon, I could already tell. Just got to stick it out and keep going. This one is going to definitely have to go on my front door. Look how full that looks already. Okay, stay focused. I need to stay focused. You ever do work on a project and you're already admiring it before it's even done? Yep, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the first loop, holding it together. I can't believe that this was still on the bottom shelf at Walmart. This was the second time I went and that same roll was just on the bottom shelf. Just sitting there waiting. I guess waiting for me. Okay. So we got that next part in there. This is some really large mesh. I'm not going to lie. I was intimidated by this, but I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I like trying new things. I think that's one of the things in life that you might be fearful of something and then you get through it and you just keep going. So lessons in crafting. Isn't that something else? Life lessons in crafting. I love trying new crafts too, new techniques. Okay, so that's what we have so far. And see, I could still adjust a little bit if I need to. And that is really secure in there. This is really secure. Okay, and I need more loops here. I'm working my way around and I'm feeling more comfortable now. you know, going through this little process here, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with it than I did when I first started. So thank you all who have not clicked off of this video yet, and you're hanging in there with me. Okay, just going to go ahead and kind of pull that through a little bit there. So I'm on that first loop again. Okay, I'm going to do that second one. And it's easier if you gather it up and then push it through. At least for me it is, but whatever is easiest for you. Okay, and I'm pulling from this side here. This mesh is just so unique. I really like it a lot. So, okay, and I've got my 1, 2, 3 loops in here. Oh, I got one more to do. Nope, got off track there. Got one more to do in here. Okay, and look how tight that looks. And you could always go back and kind of adjust it. Don't be afraid to go back and adjust it. So that's another thing you can do. So look how nice and tight those loops are. This is going to be a really full wreath now that I'm really looking at it. It's going to be pretty full. Okay, so I've got 2 sections done. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go. So when I am done, I will be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I ended right over in this area here. And so it just ended like right at the top. So I could always just take this and kind of pull it right through here and maybe tie it off in the back. Show you what that's what the back looks like. And there's not much to tie, so this was fairly easy to do. Once I got the hang of it, it actually was quite, let's see, free flowing, I guess I could say. And so I'm just going to tie this part right onto here to end that part. And it is pretty full. Look at that. And that is really stuck on there. Now, over here, I noticed that I started to run out a little bit, so I wasn't as full as I was over here, but that's okay because I'm going to go back in with ribbon. And then the nice thing is about this Deco mesh is that you can kind of just reach in and kind of pull it apart because it's all bunched up and sticking to each other. So you might want to go and pull it apart, and maybe in spaces where you can see the wreath frame. And just kind of pull it apart and make it nice and fluffy. But I am pretty happy with the way this turned out. Here's another tip. Do not go and get a fresh manicure if you're going to be working with Deco mesh. It's just not going to work. Deco mesh is really tough on your manicure, so just a heads up. So I'm just going and fluffing this out, pulling it apart, and it can get fluffier and fluffier. This is really fun. I can see myself making more of these. And this is my little thin part, so I'm going to remember that area because I'm going to be putting some ribbons around this too. So Look at that. I'm really happy about that. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for a moment. And it's time to work with our ribbons. Okay, so I thought that this was wired ribbon. None of them are wired ribbon, and that's okay. We can still work with it. And so let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure out some of this because I want them to be the same length. So maybe about, let's see, I have one here. Maybe about 12 inches. Yeah, I think 12 will be good. And I did measure it against my wreath in advance because those loops are pretty big and I don't want my ribbon to get lost in those loops. These are really pretty. So I have to see if I want to mix up this and this together and maybe do some loops like that. You can get very creative with this. Or if I want to just do these together, I think it'll be better to do, let's see. Could do something like that. Who knows? Let's see if I cut another one. This burlap is pretty, but it's not wired. I thought it was wired. Let's see, so if we do this, maybe do that, something like that. Maybe add that blue on too. Let's see. We could do something like this and tie it off with one of the chenille stems to put on our wreath. Let's see. Let me see. I gotta bend down here and show you. Okay, so maybe in here. Maybe do some here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that would be really cute. Okay. I'm gonna go for it. Let's see if we have enough ribbon to do this. So all I'm doing is, let me just cut my ends off here because I think it looks more polished when it has the dovetails there. I'm just going to show you how I'm going to put one together and then I'll go ahead and do all of the other ones so we can start attaching. That way, just cutting up. Just folding it in half, and I'm cutting it this way. This blue has a little bit of a shimmer in it. I don't know if you can see that. A really nice addition. And if you want, you can do bows also on this wreath also, so you don't have to do the strips of ribbon. But I thought I'd kind of change up a little bit. Okay, just laying them across, just like that. And I want the green on the blue, and the blue on top like that. Then when I gather it up like this, I'm just pinching it in the middle. I'm going to take this and give it a twist. And then I can untwist it once I attach it to my wreath, or if I want to add something else in, I could always untwist it. So it looks really fun, kind of whimsical. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and do a bunch more. I think I'm going to do 5 on this one. I'm going to do 5 more. Hopefully I'll have enough ribbon to do that. And then I'll come back and show you how we're going to attach it. Okay, so now it's time to attach our ribbons. And I did 5 of them, so I'm going to kind of spread them out throughout. Now over here was where I ended, and to me it looked a little bit thinner than normal, so I definitely want to start over here with this. And so I'm just looking for an opening here, and I'm attaching it to one of the center rings. So I'm just finding where that is, and then I'm just going to give it a twist. Giving it a little bit of a twist. Okay, and then just kind of spreading that back out. And so now if you want, if you feel like it's too long, you could go ahead and cut it down. But I'm going to go ahead and attach them first so I can see what it looks like. And then I could like kind of fluff everything out, give it a final fluff to see what it looks like. Okay, so that's our first ribbon attached on there. And sometimes you got to just play around with it a little bit. Okay, let's see, my other one, I'm just going to put right here. This looks so fun. And so I'm trying to spread them out a little bit evenly. I'm just looking for somewhere to pull that through. And so I'm trying to do it crossway like this. Okay, just looking for a little opening back there. And you might have to search for it a little bit. I'm just twisting and twisting. I'm going to go back and straighten it up. This Deco mesh is good at hiding things, which is good also. Okay, second one on. Okay, and I want 5 of them on here so I can just have them spread out evenly. So again, pulling it through. I'm just laying it on top there. And I mean, you can do so much. You can put flowers on here, and you can put greenery on here. There's just so much you can do with this. You can make a big bow. I didn't even have to do these little ones. I could make a big bow and put a big bow on here too. And I could add more of these on there if I want also. And go back and fluff those out. Let's see, I'm going to put one here, and then there's going to be one like right in here. I'm so glad you stayed with me through this process. But I think once you have that initial first one down, then you know what? It's a go-ahead. You can do it. You can do it. Now, if you feel like you want to pull it all the way through the bottom, you can. I'm just kind of finding somewhere to attach it and then spreading it out. And then hiding my stems in there. This is a pretty sturdy wreath too. And even if you just got one technique from this, then I have accomplished my mission. Even if you take one thing away from this. So I'm always looking to inspire all of you because you all inspire me. So I'm so glad I gave this a try. I will no longer be intimidated by the mesh. Okay, I'm just going to twist that because I want it to be the long way there. All right, and don't be afraid to play around with it and get it the way you want it. Just trying to pull out my ribbons here to the forefront. And then if some of them are too long, I'm not afraid to cut it down. And so once it's all hung up, I'll really be able to see if I want to cut some of these down, make them a little bit shorter. But I really love these colors. Definitely going to hang this on my front door. Okay, and so I do hope you were inspired. I'm going to post pictures at the end. I'm going to end up more than likely cutting some of these down just a little bit because I want them to kind of be like pop up, like, so they're not too far down in there. Yeah, like that. Okay. And so I hope you were inspired by this Deco Mesh wreath. I hope you learned a new technique and that you choose to give it a try. I had so much fun with this, and I will post pictures at the end for you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comment below as usual, and if you haven't joined our crafty family yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So thanks for joining me. Bye.